Dude, look at the WNBA. For decades it has existed in a strange space, where belief is louder than reality and hope often replaces honesty. For nearly 30 years, the league has been presented as something that is just one breakthrough away from mass acceptance. Every new season arrives wrapped in promises of growth, momentum, and respect. The story is always the same. This year is different. This year, people are finally paying attention. This year, the league is booming. Yet when you slow down and really look at what is happening, the shine fades fast, and the same problems rise back to the surface. Like they always do, another season tips off, and the talking points flood social media and sports television. Viewership is up, they say. Interest is rising, they claim. The league has finally turned the corner. But the truth lives in the quiet spaces between headlines. The truth lives in empty seats and lukewarm engagement. The truth lives in the uncomfortable gap between what is said and what people actually do with their time. If the WNBA truly had captured the hearts of fans, the debate would be over. People would be watching without being asked to believe anything at all. For a quarter of a century, the league has played games in front of crowds that feel more symbolic than electric. Night after night, arenas struggle to feel alive. This is not a knock on effort or dedication. The players work hard and many are skilled. The problem is not effort. The problem is connection. Sports live and die on emotion. They live on moments that pull people out of their seats and make them feel something unforgettable. For most fans, the WNBA has failed to deliver those moments consistently enough to matter. Supporters often respond by saying, "Growth takes time. That patience is required." But 3 decades is not patience. 3 decades is a full evaluation. Other leagues have risen, fallen, reinvented themselves, and exploded in popularity within that same window. The NFL dominates weekly television. The NBA became a global powerhouse. Even niche sports found their audience by leaning into what made them exciting. The WNBA has instead leaned into demanding respect without earning widespread fascination. This season, the numbers are once again used as proof that everything is working. Television audiences ticked upward. Articles celebrated progress. Yet when placed beside other major sports, the picture changes fast. Professional football draws audiences that fill entire cities' worth of viewers. Baseball still commands steady attention. The NBA pulls millions night after night. Against that backdrop, the WNBA remains a distant echo. Even at its best, it sits far below the level required to be considered a mainstream success. There was also context that cannot be ignored. The league received massive free publicity through a national news story that had nothing to do with basketball itself. One of its most recognizable players became the center of an international crisis. News networks that never mentioned the WNBA suddenly said its name daily. Sympathy, curiosity, and politics drove attention in ways marketing budgets never could. Combine that with a thrilling women's college tournament, and you have a temporary surge. A moment, not a movement. Moments fade. Movements endure. When the headlines move on, the underlying product is what remains. And this is where the league faces its harshest reality. If it does not confront its deepest issues honestly, the numbers will slide back to where they always land. The cycle will repeat. Optimism will return next season. Then disappointment will follow once again. The first issue is entertainment value. This is uncomfortable to say because it feels subjective. But entertainment is the foundation of professional sports. Fans give their time and money in exchange for excitement, drama, and spectacle. Skill matters, but spectacle sells. The WNBA has long argued that its game should be appreciated on its own terms, that fundamentals and purity should be enough. For most fans, it has not been enough. Basketball at its highest level is about elevation, speed, and power combined with skill. Above-the-rim play changes how the game feels. Dunks, fast breaks, and explosive finishes create moments that live beyond the final score. They generate highlights that travel across screens and social feeds. The WNBA largely lacks this dimension. Games often feel grounded, contained, and predictable. For casual viewers, that matters more than any ideological argument ever could. This leads directly into the second issue, which is evolution. Sports that survive evolve. Rules change, equipment changes, and presentation changes. The NBA did not become what it is by accident. It adjusted to what fans responded to. The WNBA has made surface-level tweaks, but avoided the one change that could transform. While the game looks and feels overnight, the rim remains untouched. 10 feet stands as a symbolic line that the league refuses to cross. Lowering the rim would not be an admission of weakness. It would be an embrace of reality. A slightly lower rim would open the door to more dynamic play. More players would finish above defenders. More moments would feel powerful instead of polite. A third of the league could realistically dunk with consistency. That single change would create highlights that travel far beyond existing fans. It would give casual viewers a reason to stop scrolling and watch. The resistance to this idea reveals the third and most damaging issue of all: attitude. Time. And time again, players respond. Two honest questions, with defensiveness and outrage. Instead of listening to what fans are saying, they lecture them. Instead of seeing opportunity, they see insult. This emotional wall pushes people away faster than empty arenas ever could. When a fan asks whether lowering the rim could increase interest, the response is not curiosity. It is offense. The question is framed as disrespectful rather than practical. The conversation ends before it begins. In any other business, ignoring customer feedback would be unthinkable. Yet in this league, it has become normal. The contradiction becomes even clearer when money enters the discussion. Many players are quick to compare themselves to NBA athletes when discussing PE. They point to revenue-sharing percentages and fairness. Suddenly, comparison is acceptable. But when the same comparison is used to discuss style of play or entertainment value, it becomes offensive. This selective logic is impossible for fans to take seriously. Former NBA legends have offered advice. Based on decades of experience at the highest level, these are players who built careers on understanding what excites audiences. When they suggest that more above-the-rim play could help the league, they are dismissed with sarcasm. The arrogance in those moments is stunning. Advice that would be treasured in any other context is treated like an attack. There is also an underlying belief that fuels this resistance. A belief that given enough time differences in athletic performance will disappear. That biology is a social construct that can be corrected through ideology. This idea may exist in academic circles, but sports are not theoretical. They are physical. Fans can see the differences with their own eyes. Pretending otherwise damages credibility. Comedy often reveals truth more clearly than debate. When the idea of absolute equality in sports is reduced to its logical conclusion, it falls apart instantly. If performance were truly equal, there would be no separate leagues. Reality does not bend to slogans. Fans understand this instinctively. When a league refuses to acknowledge obvious truths, it loses trust. At its core, the WNBA faces a choice. It can continue to exist as a protected symbol, insulated from criticism, or it can become a business that adapts to survive. Right now, it survives largely through support rather than demand. That is a fragile position. Businesses built on obligation eventually collapse when enthusiasm runs dry. Potential fans are not hostile. They are indifferent. Indifference is far more dangerous than hate. People want a reason to care. They want honesty. They want excitement. They want humility. When they encounter defensiveness, hypocrisy, and lectures, they walk away without looking back. The tragedy is that change is possible. The talent exists. The platform exists. The history exists. All that is missing is the willingness to listen and adapt. Lower the rim and embrace evolution. Accept biological reality without shame. Treat feedback as a gift rather than an attack. Drop the ideological armor and meet fans where they are. Sports are not won through arguments. They are won through moments. Moments that feel electric. Moments that feel undeniable. Until the league commits to creating those moments consistently, it will remain stuck in the same conversation, year after year. So this is not a call for disrespect. It is a call for realism. Make the game more exciting. Let it evolve. Let go of the attitude that pushes people away. Because until that happens, the league will continue to struggle for relevance.